And if everyone wants to speak.
Hello. Please mute your phones and turn your attention to the public safety announcement. In the event of an emergency at NJ Transit, your safety is our top priority. Please follow these important instructions. In case of an emergency, announcements will be made over the loudspeaker or by a uniformed police officer. If necessary, CPR will be administered using the defibrillator. Please do not approach the dais. Documents can be presented to staff at the entrance to the boardroom. Please follow the directions of NJ Transit Police and staff. Thank you, and have a safe day.
Okay. I hereby call to order the Target Zero Commission meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I'll now take roll call, and when I call each organization, the representative or commissioner will state their name. New Jersey State Police.
Jeannie Hangmeal.
Okay. New Jersey Department of Health.
Navdeep Sadhu.
New Jersey Department of Community Affairs.
Ian Rayfield.
New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Adam Gary.
New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety.
Steve Slimowitz.
Okay. New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission.
Kim DiGiovanni.
New Jersey Turnpike Authority.
Stephen Diltz.
New Jersey Transit.
Justin Davis.
North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority.
David Barron.
South Jersey Transportation Planning Organization.
Jennifer Marandino.
And Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for being here. And before we begin, I would like to thank those joining us here today or virtually for your commitment to the work of the Target Zero Commission and our shared goal of a stronger, safer roadway system and state of transportation in New Jersey. Let me also thank my fellow members of the Target Zero Commission for the time, expertise, and commitment that they continue to bring to this work. I also want to thank the advocates, safety professionals, community leaders, and members of public who continue to contribute their perspectives and experience to this work. Governor Sherrill has made safety and delivering results for New Jerseyans clear priorities. And for this commission, that means turning those priorities into action and making New Jersey safer for pedestrians, motorists, and bicyclists alike. And we all understand what is at stake. According to yesterday's report from the New Jersey State Police's Fatal Accident Investigation Unit, approximately 356 people have lost their lives on New Jersey's roadways this year. While that number is lower than it was at this point last year, it is still far too high because every life lost is one too many. And so Target Zero cannot be simply about setting a goal. It must change how we make decisions, where we focus our resources, and how we respond to what is happening on our roads. And one of the most significant pieces of that work underway has been developing the data and tools that allow us to better understand where the greatest risks exist across our transportation system. New Jersey DOT has devoted considerable work on developing and launching the state's high injury network and public-facing safety dashboard, which brings together crash and roadway data in a way that allows us, our local partners, our advocates, and the public to see where fatal and serious injury crashes are concentrated. What it does is gives us a common set of facts to work on, but the value of data is what we do with it. And it is helping us identify where intervention is most urgently needed. And importantly, we are beginning to use this data to help guide where our transportation investments are being made. So starting with our fiscal year 2027 local aid program, projects located within a high injury network will be considered as part of our evaluation criteria. And this is an important step that begins to connect what the data is telling us about risk. It connects it directly to decisions that we have to make about investing our dollars. And that is just one piece of a much broader effort. At NJDOT, we are advancing pedestrian safety countermeasures, traffic calming, and a safe system approach. Our partner agencies, who you see represented here, are also advancing updated driver education, improved enforcement training, smarter land use decisions, and enhanced emergency response resources. Counties and municipalities, with the support of our MPOs and our TMAs, have also continued to make significant progress in advancing safe street plans, projects, and programs. So together, these efforts are allowing us to address safety from different angles while staying focused on the same outcome. So we have made meaningful progress in building better tools and a stronger framework, but we are continuing to ask ourselves, are we focusing on the right locations? Are we making the right investments, and are we moving quickly enough? So that is why today's public hearing really matters. Data can tell us a great deal, but it does not replace what we hear from people who travel these roads and live in these communities every day. And today, it gives us an opportunity to take stock of the work underway, to hear directly from the public, and to continue turning our shared commitment into action. So thank you again for being here and for your continued commitment to this work. And with that, I'd like to invite my fellow commission members for any comments or remarks.
Good morning. Like all of you that are here and are online, we are all committed to reaching these goals of the Target Zero Commission. And for the state police, we will continue to work with the rest of our commissioners and the rest of this board to reach those goals. So thank you very much for your continued support and all the information that you are bringing to this public hearing. We can't do it alone. Everyone up here needs everyone out there and online as well. So thank you very much for your continued support.
Thank you.
Chair Jane, New Jersey Turnpike Authority is proud to work with you and our colleagues here on this incredibly important initiative. Thank you for your leadership and the governor for hers in organizing us, and look forward to today's comments and today's feedback.
Thank you, Steve. Any other comments? Okay. Okay, so with that, I will introduce Mike Manzella, New Jersey DOT Director of Statewide Planning, to provide a Target Zero Commission overview.
Thank you, Commissioner, members of the Commission. Good afternoon. Since this is the first time we are reconvening since our last public hearing in December, we thought we would take a moment to just give a general overview of the Target Zero Commission for those who may be gathered in the room or who are live streaming online and may not be familiar with the progress that was made since the law was adopted at the beginning of 2025. Next few slides. A few more. One more. There you go. Thank you. So the Target Zero Commission law was signed in January of 2025 with the goal of eliminating traffic fatalities and serious injuries on all of New Jersey's roads by the year 2040. The law indicates that the commission is chaired by the NJDOT commissioner, and the commission meets at least twice per year. As the commissioner introduced and the commission remarked, there are 13 state agencies that are named as the official commission members as part of the Target Zero Commission. They're listed here on the screen. And what the Target Zero Commission does is take the safe system approach. It adopts the safe system approach, which is the approach that the U.S. DOT has adopted as its national highway safety strategy. And that's a comprehensive, interdisciplinary approach that is not only reflected in the agencies that are all involved in the commission, but also the action items and initiatives that come from the commission and its work. So the safe system approach has 5 core objectives: safer people, safer vehicles, safer speeds, safer roads, and post-crash care. That is consistent across the national sort of safety framework. New Jersey, in adopting the action plan, also added 2 more objectives, and those are safer land use and coordinated implementation across various transportation agencies. So for anyone who's not familiar, the action plan was developed throughout the calendar year 2025, and it was adopted by the Target Zero Commission at the last public hearing on December 15th, 2025. The action plan was an extensive amount of work brought together in a very rapid fashion and is very robust in terms of defining the framework and the path forward to meet our goal of eliminating traffic fatalities and serious injuries. The action plan identified 72 actions within the plan. 40 of those are what we're calling non-legislative actions, which mean they are not driven by legislative change. And there were also 32 specific legislative actions that were identified. Each of those 72 actions also has multiple strategies identified for each of the actions. So in total, those 40 non-legislative actions total 191 strategies. Next slide. Here is just a sort of a spreadsheet of how we track the 40 non-legislative actions. Each of the actions was categorized by one of the overarching themes. So again, safer people, safer roads, safer speeds, etc. And each action item was assigned a lead agency. So you'll see the agencies across the top, and the green L indicates which agency is identified as the lead agency for that action item. So in moving forward with the Target Zero Commission work, each of the agencies is taking a lead on that action and organizing the other agencies that are listed as partners or supporting agencies on those actions. Next slide. Here's the list of the 32 legislative actions. These actions are being advanced through the legislature, so not specifically by the agencies on this commission. However, as legislative actions are referred to the agencies, each of the legislative offices or legislative officials at each of the agencies does review and provide feedback to the legislature as any of those bills may move forward. Next slide. Within the Target Zero Commission law, there are some requirements of the commission. Each year, an annual report of progress is to be released, and the legislation requires that be released prior to the World Day of Remembrance of victims of traffic violence, which this year falls on November 15th. So by November 15th, we are required as a commission to publish that annual report of progress to the legislature and to the general public. There are also 2 public hearings to be required, one of which we are here today, September 1st, and another, which we'll talk about later in the meeting, is scheduled for October 5th. Another requirement of the legislation was that the Department of Transportation publish a publicly accessible crash data portal, and that was done. So you can go to the DOT website listed there, click references, and then crash data portal, just 2 links, 2 drop downs to get to that public crash data portal. The other requirement that was testing. Oh, there we go. All right. Was to establish a statewide high injury network, which the department has also completed. And my colleague, Director Frank Neary, will talk about that in a little bit. Next slide. So here's a general timeline of how we got to this point. As I mentioned, at the end of 2025, the Target Zero Action Plan was adopted by the Target Zero Commission, and there was a lot of work, many working group meetings that went into that work to establish a very good plan. Since then, what has happened? At the beginning of this year, the Department of Transportation launched the Public Crash Data Portal and the statewide high injury network. Obviously, there has been a new administration, governor administration, and many new commission members, including our own commissioner. So there was some time to reorganize and bring the group together and get back to the work. So since then, there has been much progress on the action items, non-legislative action items in the action plan. And each of the agencies designated designees to be part of a working group meeting. So we've met many times as a working group, but also individually with each of the agencies to continue to advance plans and advance the strategies within the actions, the non-legislative actions. And here we are today at the public hearing. There will likely be another working group meeting this month, and another public meeting has been scheduled for October 5th. And as I mentioned earlier, we are on track to release the annual report prior to the World Day of Remembrance on November 15th. Now I'll get into some of the progress and major accomplishments that have been achieved by the various agencies located here within in the Target Zero Commission, and give an overview of that progress. So from a high-level perspective, for the non-legislative action items, 75% of the action items are in progress. So 30 of those 40 action items we are deeming in progress. And what does that mean? As I mentioned earlier, each of the action items has multiple strategies within them. So we are identifying any action item that has made significant progress towards multiple of the strategies within that action item as in progress. There is more work to be done. Does not mean the action item is complete, but we have made substantial progress on, again, 75% of the non-legislative actions within the action plan. Those that are not started could be for a number of reasons, including potentially some legislation may be needed to actually move forward on specific strategies within those actions. But the team, the agency team is working together very hard on moving forward on all of the action items in the action plan. So I'll just briefly summarize some of the highlights across the various agencies that we have realized in terms of action item progress. And they're organized by the various themes. So for the Safer People theme, the Division of Highway Traffic Safety is developing an in-service police training video specifically focused on speeding and safety of vulnerable road users. And that's scheduled to roll out to all the law enforcement agencies across the state after October 1st. And that was a specific strategy in that action. A2. The Motor Vehicle Commission, with the support of the Division of Highway Traffic Safety, has updated the driver education manual, the New Jersey Driver Education Manual. That's due to be released this month, that update, and there is significantly more educational information about vulnerable road user safety, and that will be released online as well. It's a fully searchable format, and it's translated into 6 languages, I believe. Yeah. Okay. The state police has established a 3rd drug testing unit, and what that allows them to do is basically cover three sections of the state, having a dedicated drug testing unit for each of those 3 sections to respond to both DWI and driving under the influence. And that it covers the north, central, and south. And they've also developed some specialized training for marijuana impairment to better assess those infractions. The Department of Education and Division of Highway Traffic Safety have collaborated on a new program which they're calling Safety Starts With You, and that's a lesson plan for elementary schools. So the Department of Education, with the Division of Highway Traffic Safety is about to publicize that lesson plan, and the Department of Education is assessing how that can be rolled into the curriculum in schools across the state. On the Safer Roads objective, NJ Transit and NJ DOT have kicked off a high-risk bus stop analysis to identify the bus stops across the state which experience a higher than expected crash rate and are most adjacent to communities of concern and those with the highest transit ridership, to really prioritize how the department and NJ Transit and our partners at the MPOs and local communities can partner to make sure that we advance safe infrastructure in reaching those bus stops. Also on the Safer Road side, NJDOT is kicking off our update to the New Jersey Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan, which we are calling now the Active Transportation Plan, with the support of NJDEP. And one of the major components of that update to the Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan, or now the Active Transportation Plan, will be the development of a high-priority statewide greenway network. And that was one of the specific actions in the Target Zero action plan. So we're very excited that we have secured federal funding for this plan moving forward, and we'll be kicking that off this year. On the safer vehicle side, one of the actions is related to mode shift to safer modes of transportation. So on that front, NJ Transit, NJ DOT, and the Office of Planning Advocacy are developing recommendations to both enhance and streamline two programs that work hand in hand. The Transit Village program to encourage more communities to focus on transit-oriented development, as well as the state plan endorsement process, so that any community that comes to the Office of Planning Advocacy looking for plan endorsement, there's some synergy in terms of what they need to do in order to become a transit village, and the same vice versa. So there's a number of recommendations to enhance those programs that we've been working very hard on. On the safer land use side, in terms of, again, encouraging transit-oriented development, which we know, is a safer way, it promotes a more safe transportation. NJ Transit has released their land plan to really supercharge transit-oriented development on property that is owned by NJ Transit. There are active RFPs that are out for development as well. So not only have they released the plan, but there are properties that are actually moving forward with development as well. NJ Transit has also funded some pilot programs for micromobility and microtransit. So that's another way to, again, move to safer modes of transportation and provide more transit access. The Department of Community Affairs is going to be proposing updates. They're advancing some updates to the residential site improvement standards. That'll be going forward at an upcoming site improvement site improvement advisory board meeting with those updates, so that as communities build more residential housing, they'll have the latest standards to work with in terms of providing safe infrastructure for those residences. On the post-crash care side, there's been a lot of work done in terms of emergency response. The Division of Highway Traffic Safety has launched 7 public safety announcements and awareness campaigns for the Move Over law. The Department of Health has secured a federal rural health transformation grant, which is a major milestone and a major source of funding to advance some of the action items related to emergency response, especially in rural areas where sometimes the response can be longer than desired, right? So that grant will help with emergency response training as well as a number of other enhancements to the resources that emergency response providers can respond with. Some other Department of Health accomplishments in some of the action items that they lead. Pre-hospital blood transfusion programs have expanded this year from 4 to 6 active programs, with 2 more preparing applications. So the ability to have blood in case that there is a serious crash, that it can be responded to more effectively. State waivers have been signed to allow advanced life support units to carry blood and paramedics to administer those transfusions. Paramedic staffing, the department reports, has improved to levels not seen since pre-COVID, with those programs closer to full capacity. And there's now 100% statewide access to pre-hospital blood through the air medical system. So every time that a helicopter responds to a significant serious crash, there is blood available to help respond to that occurrence. And finally, the Division of Highway Traffic Safety has submitted their triennial Highway Safety Action Plan in July of 2026 to NHTSA, and that incorporates post-crash care strategies for the first time, and that was another action, another strategy within one of the actions that has been completed. So finally, in terms of in the theme of coordinated implementation, we wanted to just highlight all the work, as the commissioner has said. The work can't be done by the state alone. We need our partners in the locals, the counties, the MPOs, to also commit to this safety work, which we know they have. But I think it's important to highlight that if you look across the map of the state of New Jersey, all 21 counties are incorporated into safety action plans of their own that are either in progress or have been completed. In addition, 46 municipalities across the state have safety action plans that are in progress or completed. And there are 2 regional Yeah, it's like, get out of here.
This is not like the Oscars where we are shutting you down. So
There are 2 regional safety action plans that have been completed and 1 in progress. The 2 have been completed are in the Meadowlands and in Cape May County. So as you can see, there's jurisdiction across the entire state. It's not just our state commission and our state agencies that are doing this work. Jurisdictions across the state are really committing to this approach, and that's the only way we're going to get to zero. So with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague, the Division Director of Safety Programs for New Jersey DOT, Frank Neary.
thank you, Mike, and Frank's going to walk through some additional progress that has been done. So thanks, Frank.
Yes. So thank you, Mike. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commission members. Mike very ably covered 12 agencies in a couple of slides. I'm going to try and do DOT in just a handful. So I'm going to talk about some of the progress that DOT has made on some of the actions and strategies. I'll go through these very briefly. Again, these are just highlights with all of the strategies that we have, and DOT being involved in an overwhelming majority of them. We can't go through everything today, but we'll hit some highlights. As the Commissioner spoke earlier, we have established the Target Zero website. The public crash data portal is fully functional. It's continuously being updated. And we also have a statewide high injury network for the first time. I still haven't been able to confirm whether they're first in the nation. I know we're the first in the nation of its kind, where we cover all road users, but first state in the nation to do that. The second bullet there, I am happy to say that is incorrect. As of 8:15 this morning, we are at 100% completion in electronic crash data reporting. So I'm very happy to report that. The last town came through just this morning. So that's very good, and that may seem like a kind of a support function, but that enables us to get much more timely data, not just for DOT projects and DOT programs, but for all of our partners and all of the other public that use that data. We have incorporated our high injury network into a competitive grant process through local aid. We are in the process of aligning a Safe Corridors program with our high injury network. Basically what the Safe Corridors program is, if you're not familiar, about 28 years ago, the state created the Safe Corridors program. You may have seen the signs where if you're in this particular area, you can get double fines. Those fines get turned back into roadway improvements. We are in the process of trying to align that with the high injury network, because where else would we want to do that other than on the high injury network? The Accelerated Safety Action Program, we're calling it tentatively the ASAP program. This is in progress, and what this is, this could be really a game changer for us. So within DOT and within DOTs, there are 2 ways that we primarily fund roadway improvements. The first is as a capital project. These are the big ones. These are the Pulaski Skyway. These are all these projects that go through federal funding and all the requirements, and unfortunately take a long time. The other way is state funded through a Transportation Trust Fund. They typically happen faster, but the problem is it's very, very, very limited funding. So what the ASAP program is going to be, or what we hope for it to be, is kind of in the middle, where we can advance certain projects much faster, but use that bigger pool of money that we have available to us. We're about ready to pilot that through our Bureau of Safety Improvement Program. Programs Bureau. We're going to pilot that very shortly, and we hope to be able to scale that up considerably. The local safety program realignment, this is administered through our MPOs, our metropolitan planning organizations. That is still a work in progress. We have had a couple of hiccups along the way, but that is where the state provides funding to the MPOs to do local projects. I'm going to show an example of that in a little bit here. There were some challenges with that in the past. We're working very hard to get that up and running because it's a critical program, and one that is not unique to New Jersey, but it is not widespread nationwide, so we want to keep that up. The full-scale data architecture assessment. This is where we're having a full assessment of all of our data capacities, processes, workflows, everything, because realistically, we can't have a data-driven program without having good data and having timely data and accurate data. So this is a work in progress. We are doing this right now. We have an external auditor in cooperation with FHWA. The expanded systemic safety program. We've been doing this all along, but we are expanding this considerably. What a systemic program is, if you're not familiar, if you think about the high injury network as a hotspot where we have a crash history and we go and address it, a systemic program is where we try and address it before the crash happens. And the way that we do that is we look at what are the characteristics of these crashes and where do those other characteristics exist, whether there's a crash or not. And we try and address it ahead of time. So we have expanded that. We have multiple systemic safety programs going on right now. And then lastly is the expanded training on the safe system approach, which you heard about a short time ago, and traffic incident management. We are, again, through our Bureau of Safety Improvement programs, we have a safe system approach training that we're doing for DOT engineers, consultants, and then it's in pilot stage right now. I think it's happening in October. And then we'll be able to roll it out to everybody else. It really drives home not just what that wheel that Mike showed you looks like and what it means, but how do you implement that into the projects. And as far as traffic incident management, we are number 2 in the nation as far as the amount of people that are trained in traffic incident management. We're in California, but they have a lot more people. So I think we're pretty good there. Next slide, please. Okay, update on the high injury network. So if you haven't heard me say this before, the high injury network was established. It was published. It is available on the Target Zero website, both in map and in PDF form. It is 145 of the 1 mile segments where we have the highest frequency of serious or fatal injury crashes. 145, and that covers all road users, Turnpike Authority, DOT, local, county, you name it. Of those 145 segments, 88 of those are within the jurisdiction of New Jersey DOT. Within those 88 that we have jurisdiction over, on 80 segments, we have over 200, 217, depending on the day, projects in different stages of delivery. So some might be in concept development still, working towards construction. Some might be in construction and or closeout. Within those 217 projects, 187 are either pure safety projects or have specific safety elements added on. So it might be repaving a road where we put in ADA curb ramps, things like that. And again, within those 187 projects, more than 600 are intersection improvements. So more than 600 intersections in the state of New Jersey just on the high injury network are being addressed. And I'm going to go and say this right now. This is the second mistake on my slide deck. It's actually closer to 700. But it changes from day to day as the projects move, but we're making significant progress there. I mentioned 80 out of the 88. The remaining 8 segments that do not have safety-specific projects, we are actively working to develop them. We're doing road safety audits that have either already been done or are scheduled, and we'll develop projects from there. Next slide, please. So what do these improvements look like? I'm not going to read all these off. I'm sure you can read them. But anything from signal upgrades, Jersey extensions, which is a timing thing, pedestrian signals, HFST is high friction surface treatment, rectangular rapid flashing beacons. I always say it wrong, but ADA curb ramps, and you can see some of the examples in the images there. New Jersey DOT is actually a leader in the development. and implementation of ITS, intelligent traffic signal systems across the state. Next slide, please. One other thing I just want to highlight, because this is not specifically listed in the action plan, but I think it's worth noting. It does cover, in a roundabout way, all the different action items that are listed there. So we have DOT has contracted with a company that, so if you're not aware, large commercial fleet trucks typically have a screen like that in the image there in their cab. And what it's used for is like bypassing way stations and things like that. We have contracted with a company that will alert anybody entering a statewide high-injury network segment, say use caution. We'll also alert them to any NHTSA national mobilizations and any emergency messages that we, for example, during the I-80 sinkhole issue, something like this was used. And this is in 90% of the fleets across North America. So this is something that'll be rolling out probably in about 2 weeks. But contracts all signed and everything, we're just ready to go. Next slide, please. And lastly, I just want to put an example up here. And full transparency, this is not necessarily a DOT project. DOT did fund it, but it was done through NJTPA. FHWA funded it through NJDOT, and then went to the MPOs and the city of Newark. This is not too far from here. This is a 6-way, pretty crazy intersection. It has a firehouse, a Little League field, commercial, residential, really a mix. Some parking, some legal, some otherwise. But it's nearing completion, and we anticipate by the end of the year this project will be completed. ADA curb ramps, high visibility crosswalks, a roundabout, which is proven to reduce serious injury crashes, and just a much more consistent flow. This has been a long time coming. This was not done. This is not on the high injury network, but just highlights what can be done from an infrastructure standpoint. And I believe that is it. So again, that's just what DOT is doing, and I just want to provide you a highlight, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. And lots of really good work going on among all the agencies, and thank you for sharing some of the updates over here. Megan, if we can open it up for public comment.
There are 6 in-person speakers. We will take in-person speakers first, followed by telephone participants who are queued to speak. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to provide comments. Each speaker should tell the commission their name and, if applicable, the organization they represent before providing their comments. Those participating by telephone, if you have not already done so, please press *1 on your telephone keypad to enter the queue to speak. You will hear a brief tone to indicate you have successfully entered the queue.
Okay. Thank you, Megan. And I also want to welcome and recognize Assemblyman Karabanchik. He has been a prime sponsor of the original Target Zero law and a tremendous partner in the legislature. Assemblyman, thank you for your support, and if I can request you to make a few comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and obviously my name is Rob Karabanchik. I'm the State Assemblyman, and this is just amazing what I'm seeing today, what I heard, the progress where we're at today. I want to thank all of the different departments, this eloquent list of commissioners that are sitting here, and the hundreds, if not thousands, of engineers and people that are so detailed in what they're doing here, all for one goal, and that's to save people's lives. There's nothing more that I can say about this, but trust me, one thing that I will be saying everywhere I go is about this commission and how great it's doing and what you're doing to help the people of New Jersey. And working together and working with the advocates here as one group, I wish I could have that in a million other places in New Jersey. So thank you for what you're doing. And as was stated today, there may be some more legislation needed. I would be happy to help in any way I can to move that forward, to make sure that we get to Target Zero and that people's lives are saved. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Assemblyman, and thank you again for your support. Megan, if you want to call up on the... Yeah.
The next speaker is Ashley Tracy, followed by Tiffany Robinson.
Thank you for saying my name right. It's spelled very weird. Hello, my name is Ashley Tracy, and I'm here with Tri-State Transportation Campaign and the New Jersey Vision Zero Alliance. The Commission's own Target Zero action plan is built on solutions to traffic violence both here at home and abroad. Take Hoboken, 9 straight years without a single traffic death in one of the densest cities in the country. That's not luck. It was purposeful design targeted at their high injury network that prioritized safety for our most vulnerable. It's daylighted intersections, raised crosswalks, curb extensions, 15-mile-per-hour school zones, and multi-way stops at high crash corners. This is a proven working New Jersey model sitting 30 minutes from this room. Look overseas and you see the same policy and planning changes doing the work in many other countries, lowering speeds by design, not just by sign, and physically separating people walking and biking from traffic violence. It's been happening for decades and it works. This commission has already done the hard part of translating that into New Jersey plan, and I want to applaud you for the progress that you've laid out to us so far. There is still much more work to be done. The most dangerous roads in the state are concentrated in lower income communities and communities of color that have spent decades absorbing disinvestment. This is a choice, repeated for generations, to prioritize how fast cars move through a neighborhood over whether the people live there survive crossing the street. In 2025, Trenton saw 70 crashes with serious injuries or fatalities. Princeton, also in Mercer County, saw 15. This is class warfare, and this is racial terrorism. Target Zero cannot just be a safety plan. It has to be an equity plan, or it will keep failing the communities paying the highest price for our car-first streets. We know what works. We have a plan. What this commission and New Jersey Transit owe the public now is urgency. Continue to advance the non-legislative actions and use your expertise to advise legislators like so, working to move the other 32 through the legislature. We understand you're under certain constraints, but the legislative actions are not separate from the plan. They are integral. Early engagement with advocates is important. We urge you to create a formal process for legislative review and share that with advocates. Your expertise is vital to the legislative process. Thank you for your continued work making our streets safer.
Thank you. The next speaker is Tiffany Robinson, followed by Jennifer Lopez.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the Commission. My name is Tiffany Robinson. I am with the New Jersey Bike and Walk Coalition. I am the Trails and Active Mobility Director there. We really appreciate the work that we've heard today, the work that has gone into truly getting to Target Zero, and the commitment to move forward, especially during the midst of an administrative change. New Jersey is the first state in the nation to establish a statewide Target Zero Commission. That's a major achievement and an extraordinary opportunity for our state to lead. Yet most New Jersey residents don't even know that this commission exists. They don't know that New Jersey has committed to eliminating traffic deaths and serious injuries by 2040, that there's an action plan, what it calls for, or how they can help bring its vision to life in their communities. We should be proudly and consistently communicating this work, not allowing one of the country's most ambitious safety commitments to remain invisible to the people it's meant to protect. No agency can be an island, and we've heard that today, but nor can the residents when it comes to Target Zero. Engineering is critical, but lasting change requires awareness, education, and a shared understanding of why safety matters. This work has to reach families, schools, employers, healthcare providers, really every person that uses our roads. We know each commission agency is already advancing important safety work, and the opportunity here is to really bring that work together and build on it. The commission was created to bring 13 agencies together around a shared goal because we know that we cannot achieve Target Zero alone. And the value of this commission is really bringing together the resources and expertise of community relationships to advance that goal. So we see two immediate opportunities. First, prioritize implementing Action A10, the Unified Education Strategy for Target Zero. The plan already acknowledges that a coordinated public-facing education effort is essential to reaching zero. And it already identifies first-year implementation priority. So this commission should designate clear leadership, develop a public implementation plan with milestones, and report regularly on progress and the resources needed to carry it out. Second, the commission should turn its attention to the legislative actions in the plan. With 32 actions that have legislative components, that's a large body of work to carry out. A legislative subcommittee could review those actions, identify which ones should come first, clarify the policy questions and partners needed to prepare for them for movement, and report back publicly. Advocates can truly help the commission understand where the public need is and how to build the momentum. Advocates across New Jersey are ready to help carry this message into our communities and support this work if the commission lets us into the process as allies. We do not want to continue to see our friends dying on roads, and we're tired of putting up ghost bikes. So please give Action A10 clear leadership and a public plan. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jennifer Lopez, followed by John McKee.
Hello all, my name is Jen Lopez. I am with the Tri-State Transportation Campaign. Good afternoon, Commissioner Jane and members of the Target Zero Commission. I'm reading this statement on behalf of Sangeeta Badlani, founder of the Nikhil Badlani Foundation and Families for Safe Streets, New Jersey, and co-founder of the Vision Zero New Jersey Alliance. We want to begin by thanking the Commission for the work that has gone into implementing the Target Zero Action Plan. We are encouraged by the process that has been made, particularly the coordination taking place among the 13 agencies. As we move forward, we would like to highlight 4 areas that we believe need continued attention. First is rapid response following fatal and serious injury crashes. When someone is killed or seriously injured, there should be a defined process to quickly understand what happened, identify roadway factors that may have contributed to the crash, and determine whether immediate or interim safety improvements can be made. We should not have to wait years for a capital project when changes can be made now. This process should apply to state, county, and local roads, and when a condition is identified that may exist elsewhere, that information should be used proactively to prevent the next crash. Second is moving the high injury network identification to action. Identifying our most dangerous roadways is an important step, but what happens after a road is identified? When a county or municipal road appears on the state high injury network, there should be a clear process for engaging the road owner and municipality, identifying potential improvements in funding, and tracking what happens next. A dangerous roadway should not fall through the cracks because responsibility is divided among different levels of government. Third, 32 recommendations of the action plan require legislative action. These are an important part of the Target Zero implementation. We understand the limitation state agencies have in advocating for legislation, but the Commission and its member agencies can provide technical expertise, identify implementation and fiscal concerns, and engage with legislative sponsors early in the process. We encourage the Commission to establish a coordinated process for reviewing and tracking these recommendations, including what agency reviews have taken place, what progress has been made, and what barriers remain. Finally, advocates and families should continue to be meaningfully engaged throughout the implementations. Families who have lost loved ones, crash survivors, and advocates bring lived experience and years of work on these issues. We encourage the Commission to create ongoing opportunities for advocates to provide input as recommendations are implemented, not only during the required public hearings. We have submitted more detailed written comments addressing these and other recommendations. Families and advocates like myself stand ready to work with the Commission. We all share the same goal, turning the Target Zero Action Plan into action that saves lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is John McKee, followed by Chris Neidenberg.
Good afternoon, Chair Jane, the Commission. I haven't mastered reading and looking up, so I'm probably going to be eyes down most of the time. My name is Jack McKee, and I am the campaigns manager of Hudson County Complete Street. I want to start by applauding all the agencies present for the dozens of actions, both legislative and non-legislative, you have taken over the last year. From Salem to Bergen counties and everywhere in between, you're putting efforts towards a safer New Jersey for everyone driving, cycling, or walking across our roads. You are meeting the growing public consensus surrounding traffic deaths with action. That consensus is centered on a truth that many here have recognized for quite some time. Traffic fatalities are preventable through better policy and design, and we should be preventing these deaths, not simply addressing them. Today, however, I'm here to highlight another effective method for making our roadways safer, encouraging fewer people to drive on them. Wherever possible, we should be promoting New Jersey Transit as a viable alternative to driving, and I'm thrilled to see work towards transit villages, TOD, and micromobility. I recently attended the 34th Street station in Bayonne, and New Jersey Transit has asked me to submit my RFP, my proposal for housing there. I'm going to get right on it. We can't where am I? Yeah, safer road design and more effective policies are crucial, but the safety of our roads as they relate to cars cannot be our only measure. We need to be considering how obligated New Jerseyans are to use them. We can't change the fact that people need to travel, nor would we want to, but we can change how attractive a choice transit is. Further, if we're serious about reaching zero, promoting the safer modes of travel must be part of the conversation. Trains, light rail, and bus are all orders of magnitude safer than driving a car, a fact we can't ignore. I understand that I am not addressing a group that is actively preventing more robust investment in public transportation. I also understand that you have no direct ability to pull the funding or policy levers and solve the problem. That said, your statements and recommendations have the ability to influence those that do. So the next time you're part of a group that's addressing this road, that highway, or some problematic intersection, I ask that you pause and consider, are we solving the correct problem? Or is the best solution to provide drivers the choice to become riders? With my extra time, I wasn't sure I'd have any, I want to voice our approval of S4834 or A6235, commonly referred to as the nation's most restrictive e-bike law. Micromobility like e-bikes are a solution to our traffic and safety problems. We should be doing everything we can to support those leaving the car at home or getting rid of it altogether. I'm among those. Because of an e-bike, that was the missing piece in my transportation, and I'm able to get everywhere I need to go. Without a car, I'm not in your way on the road, I'm not taking up a parking spot, and we should be doing everything we can. So I ask you to offer support to update that legislation to make it effective for New Jerseyans. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Chris Neidenberg, followed by the telephone speakers.
Hello, I'm Chris Neidenberg, a member of the Lackawanna Coalition. We're a mass transit advocacy group. We're also concerned with pedestrian safety and other traffic issues. Now, I'm reading a statement on behalf of our chairperson, Sally Gellert, who was not able to attend today. She says, and I'm going to have to read down on my phone. Okay, greetings. Having heard about this hearing only yesterday, it was impossible for me to rearrange my schedule to attend. I have not had time to investigate the plans, nor to prepare a statement. Please extend the comment period. She's asked as a courtesy. Now, Ms. Gellert says, I am in full support of the goal of Target Zero, and I am pleased that Governor Sherrill stopped the highway expansion project at the Holland Tunnel that would simply have encouraged cars and truck traffic at a cost of $10 billion, which would be much better spent on public transit, on Fair Fares New Jersey program of discounts for low-income, low-wealth individuals, on traffic calming features on our streets, particularly dangerous intersections and highways, such as the Parkway and Turnpike, designed to encourage high speeds. Thanks for your consideration and reply. Sally Jane Gullert, Chairperson of the Lackawanna Coalition. And I thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Commissioner and fellow commissioners.
Thank you. We will now take comments from telephone participants who are queued to speak. Operator, please open the floor to public comments by telephone participants.
Certainly. And as a reminder, if you have not already done so, please press *1 on your telephone keypad to enter the queue to speak. You will hear a brief tone to indicate you have successfully entered the queue. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes for their public comment, and a warning will be provided with 1 minute remaining and again with 15 seconds remaining. There are 2 speakers in queue, and the next public comment is coming from Norm Sutaria. Norm, your line is live, and your time will begin now.
Good afternoon, Chair Jane and Commission members. My name is Norm Sutaria, Bloomfield, New Jersey. I'm speaking for myself. I'm not affiliated with any organization. However, I do support everyone who has spoken already. I just wanted to say that your work is important and deeply appreciated. And many in the community and many of you also know that it's a marathon. And getting to 0 deaths and 0 serious injuries is a very, very long game. Couple of things that I'm super excited about. I'm very happy about the crash stats being on the DOT website. I need to take a deeper dive into that, and I hope that there's a municipality by municipality comparison of pedestrian crashes based on TR1 reports in there. As I've spoken before in front of your body, gathering data about pedestrian crashes was previously an onerous process, requiring multiple OPRA requests, et cetera. And hopefully now that will be streamlined quite a bit. And I hope in my own community to do a 5-year look back, to see what the trend line is. And I know that we had an increase and now we're decreasing with pedestrian crashes here in Bloomfield. Second, I wanted to talk about the importance of street lighting. In 2 months' time, we set our clocks back, and it will get darker earlier. And one of the challenges that I have experienced as a pedestrian, as a cyclist, as somebody walking my dog all over the place, is the lack of street lighting. And despite complaints, sometimes these street lights are not fixed in a timely fashion. So my question to all of you is, does PSE&G have a seat at the Target Zero table? Because we know that lighting, especially over crosswalks, makes pedestrians and vulnerable road users much more visible. As an example, by way of example, there are 2 lights that have been out over a crosswalk, not even like 3 blocks from my house, near the Newark Light Rail Grove Street. Oh, thank you. Station since May 2026, and it hasn't been fixed yet. Third, there could be pedestrian safety checklists around schools before the start of the school year. That could be something that police departments could do very, very easily. They could just examine the infrastructure around. We've also heard a lot about Alpers. I know that there are some Alper systems that record video. Can they be aimed at crosswalks and used for awareness and enforcement? And then a couple of other things, possibly a body-worn camera issued to school crossing guards to capture or document video and violations. And finally, a town-by-town comparison of tickets issued for failure to yield to pedestrians, as well as distracted driving and unsafe passing. It would be great to have those stats as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your expertise and your work. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Christian Noel. Christian, your line is live and your time will begin now.
Hi, my name is Chris Noel. I'm a co-founder of Bergen County Complete Streets and founder of the Fort Lee Mayor's Active Transportation Advisory Committee. I'm cautiously hopeful about Target Zero in New Jersey. You're laying tremendous groundwork, but as an advocate and a cyclist, I won't be satisfied until we see widespread implementation of actual traffic calming measures that make our streets and roads safe and accessible, especially for vulnerable road users, beyond signs, signals, and paint. So I have a few questions. First, the statewide high injury network and locally developed HINs or priority locations don't always identify the same priority locations. How will the unified HIN strategy reconcile those differences, and how will locations be prioritized when they appear on one HIN but not another? More importantly, will being identified on the statewide HIN trigger any specific action, funding priority, or follow-up, regardless of roadway jurisdiction? Relatedly, how will jurisdiction be handled when the statewide HIN identifies a priority location on a county or municipal road? For example, Kinderkamack Road in New Milford is identified on the NJDOT HIN, but is not a priority location in the Bergen County Local Safety Action Plan. Is there a process for NJDOT or the commissioners to notify the road owner and municipality and help initiate action. In Bergen County, for example, the county requires a municipality to submit a request before considering improvements. What mechanism will ensure that an HIN location doesn't simply fall through the cracks? Will NJDOT track these locations from identification and notification through evaluation and ultimately implementation, and will there be any accountability? My final question concerns the role of law enforcement in traffic calming. I recently spoke with a police captain about proposed speed humps in her community. She recommended against them, but acknowledged that she had no formal training in traffic calming or safe system principles. In some communities, police departments can effectively determine whether traffic calming measures move forward or not. Police and other technical staff should certainly provide professional input, but elected officials ultimately need to make the policy decisions about how their communities balance safety, mobility, access, and traffic flow. What can the Target Zero Commission do to establish clear guidance on the appropriate role of law enforcement in these decisions, ensure that elected officials retain that responsibility, and provide standardized traffic calming and safe system training so that police recommendations are informed by current traffic safety evidence and best practices?
15 seconds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your next public comment is coming from Pallavi Nuka. Pallavi, your line is live, and your time will begin now.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone gathered there. My name is Pallavi Nuka. I'm a resident of Princeton, New Jersey, and president of Walk Bike Princeton. I'm speaking on behalf of our organization, which advocates for safer streets for those who want to walk, bike, and drive. We strongly support New Jersey's Target Zero goal and the direction of the Target Zero Action Plan. The plan recognizes the fundamental principle that traffic deaths are preventable, and the responsibility for preventing them cannot rest primarily on individual road users. The state needs a transportation system designed so that human mistakes don't result in death or serious injury. Our biggest concern with this plan is its implementation. New Jersey has had safety plans and complete streets policies for years, yet hundreds of people continue to die or become seriously injured on our roads annually. The measure of this plan, therefore, will be whether it changes what actually gets built. We encourage the Transportation Commission and the state to work on 3 areas. First, put the safe system approach at the center of every transportation project, not just projects explicitly labeled as safety projects. When roads are resurfaced or reconstructed, consider routinely lowering design speeds, shortening pedestrian crossings, installing protected bicycle facilities, making intersections safer, and other known, proven countermeasures. Second, give municipalities and counties stronger support and stronger incentives to redesign dangerous roads. Many of the streets where people walk and bike every day are county or state highways running directly through our communities. Princeton is a prime example of this. Local Vision Zero goals, local advocacy can't succeed without state and county partnerships. Third,
1 minute remaining.
Communicate and educate the public. As a previous commentator mentioned, so many people still are unaware of Vision Zero and the state's Target Zero Action Plan. We encourage the state, with its vast resources and networks, to get the word out through schools, through community groups, to all the corners of the state where people need to understand why safety is important, and how the measures that we're installing are more than just an inconvenience. They're things that are designed to guarantee a sustainable and safe transportation future. Thank you.
Thank you. And there are no further members of the public in queue to make a public comment at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you. I want to thank the public for their participation in today's public hearing and also the enthusiasm you all are showing. Really appreciate all the comments that have been made in public as well as virtually around this. And just a reminder that we have our next public meeting at Rowan in October. And at that particular time, if you have not been able to provide comments now, you have an opportunity to do so at that time too. So looking forward to hearing more comments, and I want to thank all the commission members being over here and supporting this. And I think at the end of the day, as you heard me say in the beginning of our session, this is a collective effort, and we're all working towards a common goal. How do we make sure that everyone goes home safe, irrespective of what mode of transportation that they're using? So again, thank you we have done a lot, but we still have more to do. And my belief is this work is never done. So once we finish one thing, then we move on to the next one. So again, thank you all. And with this, I would like to have a motion to adjourn. Since there's no other business, can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Motion. Second? Wonderful. Thank you all, and we'll see you all on October 5th, which is our next meeting. Okay? Sure. I know, I should have done that, right?